Hey, how's everyone
Hey,
doing?
how y'all
It's so good to
doing?
see
Oh my
everyone.
goodness.
Look at this. It's so crystal clear. And yes.
Is it? I need to put my glasses on. This
Yes,
is some
girl, you need
bullshit.
to.
This is so awful because as I started wearing them at night when I drive, but
Mhm.
now as it's starting to get dark a little bit earlier, as the light is changing just a slight bit, and I'm like,
I have noticed, something about, I guess, because I haven't driven as much because of COVID,
mm-hmm,
it's like I'm getting to be like my mother would be like, I'm not, if it's somewhere at night, she's like,
I'm not going.
we can't go. I mean, I'm never going to be at that level, but I would like, I'd much rather go someplace during the day than, trying to find somewhere at night. Cause
Let
I
me tell
think I
you
just
something.
need to get my prescription adjusted and, some
And
other
that makes
stuff. So,
absolute complete sense. But baby, let me tell you something. If I can help, especially on a long distance drive, oh no, I'm
mhm.
not doing it. Not at night. Mm-mm.
I don't mind doing it on the highway because on the highway,
Mm-mm.
it's still sort of floating. It's trying to look at street signs and all of that shit, trying to go someplace at night.
Baby, when your depth perception is off at night
Mm-hmm.
and you can't tell whether that car is a half a block or 3 blocks down because the lights are that's a
Oh, see.
problem. So that's why I'm if I'm driving at night, it has to be somewhere that I know where I'm
Mm-hmm.
at. But out of town or like especially on the highway and the lines start floating, oh no, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm out.
Yeah, I was with somebody this weekend and they were late. I can't remember who it was. And if I could remember the name, I probably wouldn't say. But I was like, well, you just use Google to get here. It was like, oh, I'ma say it. It was Maximus. We went to brunch on Sunday, right?
Wait a minute. We gonna have to say that later. Maximus, are you here?
No, she's not here
Honey,
yet.
she's not here yet. Okay. All right.
But we went to brunch on Sunday, and I get there. And granted, I only have a 20-minute journey versus him coming all the way from Baltimore. So
Okay.
fine, that's
Okay.
understandable. But when brunch was at the reservation was at 11:45. I got there like 11:35 or so. It's now noon. So it's 15 minutes after. I was like, where are you? He was like, I'm on Florida Avenue. And I was like, why the fuck would you be on Florida Avenue? Florida Avenue traffic is always terrible. It's going to be extra
Always
terrible
24 hours a day,
now
7 days a week.
because they're doing construction and all of the people that's
It's
going to be
weird
out
to
on the
see that
brunt.
thing closed now. It's so weird though.
Yes.
It's so weird.
And
Anyway,
then I'm like, girl, why you? I was like, Google took you down Florida Avenue. He was like, child, I don't use Google. I was like, girl, even if I'm going around the corner, I
put it on so you
always
can
use
see
Google.
what's going on
I
and see which way it
literally
takes you. Sometimes it's faster.
have you ever rented a car that has Android Auto in it?
Yeah, I have, but
And so,
yeah,
I bought that external unit
yeah.
and she didn't work. But I figured out all I need to do is set, and you've got the same kind of phone I do,
Yeah.
is set the,
I don't know what because I think
is using Bixby to set a routine that every time your car connects to every time your phone connects to the car's Bluetooth,
yeah.
it automatically turns on Google.
I
So
don't
like when so I put my phone on the thing,
right.
I hit the button, the car starts, it takes a moment, it connects to the Bluetooth, the music usually starts playing, and then my phone lights up with the Google. So then all I have to do is say, hey Google, navigation to blah blah blah.
So I actually hate Google Maps. I prefer Waze.
I think you can set it up to
And I've
use
done that
Waze too.
even with the other apps. But I kind of hate them. But it's that's good to know. But I always turn Waze on while I'm driving. So I've noticed I've gotten lazier when I drive because sometimes I have to think about and connect the dots of I'm here, I got to get there. How do I get there?
Mm-hmm.
But B, it also shows me like stuff that I won't figure out unless I get there. Like
Mm-hmm.
if there's an accident or whatever, and if I'm trying to avoid
Listen,
shit,
every time Google, because I use Waze a couple of times too, but I prefer Google.
Okay.
Every time I've been like, Google don't know what they're talking about. I'm take my normal way, and then I'll be sitting in traffic like, should have listened to Google.
That's exactly.
It's called trusting the process.
It is.
You always got to trust the Google process.
Speaking of which, I'm at this point now with my phone where I think I want to get another phone, but I don't know what it is that I want to get. Like, there's nothing out there.
What's wrong? You just got that phone like a year ago.
No, I got my phone. It's been about
You got the same
almost
kind of
2
phone
years.
that I got. The
It's
phone
been
only
almost 2
came
years.
out 2 years ago.
And I've had it almost 2 years.
Okay, something wrong with it?
There's nothing wrong with it, but I'm looking at phones.
Yes.
So that's
in the
what I'm saying.
same way that I'm like, I paid off my car. I should start looking for another car.
Bitch, that's a whole other conversation.
But I'm like,
because I'm like
every month,
that
$350 that I don't have to spend on the car note. Like I was doing my budget for this new job, and like the old budget had, the car note down there.
You take that,
and so I was like, oh girl, so that's extra $350 I can reclaim, and that just going straight toward bill payment. And then I used to have because when I had that job, I was also commuting to Dulles Airport every day. So that was
expense.
That was 500 miles a week that I was putting on my car. So I put the amount of money that I spent on gas in half. All of that, even though the prices of gas is
going up like a motherfucker.
Because I don't drive, but so much. I only really like
323.
I only really drive. So like if I fill up my car, it'll take me like a month.
Hey, eccentric. Hey, darling.
For me to use up the gas that's in my car.
It was like that at one point. It was like that for me at one point.
And then so like when I filled up gas last week, because before it hadn't been for like a month.
Right.
Like since mid-September when I last put gas in the car, because I don't really go out very much. And I was like, bitch, the last time I put gas in this car was like $2.90. Why is like $3.29? I was like, motherfucker.
She's going up. And I'm like, this is gonna be so anyway, when you let's chat about phone options, because these flips, I don't know if I like these flips.
The Slave has the.
We were talking about that. Yes, the one that flips open.
Yeah,
is it the Z or whatever?
The Z Fold that folds. It's like basically two phones.
Yeah, and I'm like, that feels so bulky.
Let me tell you though, it's cute when you're trying to like do some research or looking at because we're getting older. It's good for like looking at a web page.
Make it larger.
Or like if you're on Twitter.
Yeah.
Or also because you can multitask. So you could have up to like 3-4 screens. So you could have like Facebook open, and then Twitter, then your email, then TikTok. So you could have like a bunch of thing. Mid-2000 gas was not 99 cents a gallon.
Mid-2020.
Oh, maybe where you live, eccentric, but it was never
mid-2020.
It got down to the cheapest it got during the pandemic here in DC.
I seen like
was like $1.99,
like $2.04, $2.05, maybe $1.99.
Well, that's because I also have BJ's.
Yeah, like
you use your BJ's card and you get 10 cents off a gallon. So it was like $2.09.
Yeah.
Then when you swipe, it got down to $1.99.
Yeah. So it's been high. Now I remember a time. Bitch, I remember a time when I could fill my car up. $5 would give me half a tank of gas.
When I bought my car, when I bought the blue Batmobile when I bought her in 2002.
Okay.
And I remember doing my budget, and I was like, gas is like 87 cents a gallon. So I was like, I could fill my car up for less than $20. So I put that at $16 because my car was like 14 gallons. So I was like, okay, so we'll say if $15 was my budget to fill up my car.
Yeah, Kroger Plus.
Oh, use Kroger Plus points. Okay.
Baby, you're doing a lot of Kroger shopping. If you got down to 99 cents a gallon, baby.
Yeah, bitch. Damn.
I ain't mad at you though.
I need shit.
Can I borrow a few points from Kroger?
Right.
Can we use Kroger out here at the Gion?
You can Harris Teeter is part of the Kroger family. But then the question is, where can those Kroger points be used?
I was still upset because I couldn't go nowhere and
with those full tanks.
But it's so funny because there's the Safeway. Safeway has a gas station down in Brandywine, I think.
But I ain't going all the way.
I just haven't noticed that. But I'm not even that.
I met this trade one time. He was like, I live in Brandywine. I was like, you mean past Waldorf? I was like, bitch, that's never happening.
You're catching an Uber?
I was like, I guess you're coming to see me because there's just no way that I'm going all the way down to Brandywine. And this was a first meet too. So I'm driving all this way for it might not even be good. No, ma'am. And even if it was good, it's got to be extraordinary for me to want to drive all the way out there. I've learned that lesson. Do not drive more than 30 minutes for sex.
So here's another thing. So, I've been doing my lifting and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
My last ride on Sunday. Oh, I got to tell you about this weekend too. My last
Ooh,
ride on
Joshua
Sunday.
says the average price of gas here in San Diego is $4.50.
Ooh,
Bitch, I will be walking and
bless your
biking like
heart.
a
Yeah.
bug.
So I picked up my last ride over in DuPont Circle area, like up in one of the back streets. So like on the other side of Connecticut Avenue, all up in there. And they wanted to go all the way down to St. Charles County.
That was a cute little fair, though.
It was a cute little fair, but bitch, when I tell you it was the last fair of the night,
Yeah, because it took like
and
an hour. It took at least an hour
12
and 20
o'clock
minutes
at
to
night,
get there.
and I was like, "You dirty motherfucker!" And I was like, at least I'm going back towards my house. But then I was like, "Bitch, I'm going way past my house." I was like, "Oh my god!" And we got to the point where the window was down, and this I knew I was getting irritated. The window was down. He had his hand out the window, and he was doing the thing like, whoosh, whoosh, and I'm driving like,
yeah, because you don't like that extra noise.
And I'm just trying to let me get you out the car. Got there, got out the car, and I was like, all right, fine. And I was cool on the way back home, but it was a bit much. But let me tell you about this weekend. Hey, Coyote. Oh, two things, Coyote. One, you have 2 new customers. 2 new customers as a result of my weekend. And 2, my weekend. So I don't know if I shared with you.
So what happened?
Well, not like that. But my whole thing is I was supposed to have a sister weekend. And these are my Judys. These are my good Bristas that I've known for, 30 years together. Well, not even together, 30 years probably for each one, like 25 and then 30 for each one of them. So long time. All right. So one of us came down from Philadelphia. I'm here in the area. You knew what I'm doing on the weekends. I'm trying to make some money.
Hey, Spash.
So you invite us to a function at your house
Is
so that we can have so that we can have an evening.
An evening?
No.
Or
this
is Judy's. Okay.
An evening for us to just sit down, have a sleepover, laugh at it, just kiki all night. Like I'm figuring we're gonna get. So I even picked up some coyote bites. I was like, but it's just gonna be on. We get there. I'm sorry, let me back up. First of all, it's a Saturday, so I'm out trying to make some money. Saturday is busy day for hairdressers. Yeah. So their day is you've cut this person's day short when they decide they're going to drive down here because again, we're all at this age point where it's like I don't want to drive at night. So still, we got down here at about 8:30. I get the call. I'm in the area. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I'll finish what I'm doing. I'll meet you there because I knew I was going to be out. We got there no later than 9 o'clock on a Saturday night. Cool. We all sitting around laughing, joking, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. We even ate a little something because he had made like a pork roast, whatever. And then somewhere around 10:30, he says, well, y'all girls can stay up all night. I'm going to go to bed. Excuse me? And bitch, I couldn't get myself together.
Y'all were at his house?
Yes.
For a sleepover.
I could not get myself together because then one of us said, bitch, I spent more time on the road coming down here than you just spent with me since I've been in your house. Like, are you serious? Like, you really ready to go to bed? And so we were like, you're joking, right? Like, no, y'all got here too late. Listen, I don't know if he's ever going to watch this, but bitch, I'm going to go ahead and say this because I will say it to your face. Baby, we were working. We had shit to do during the day.
Right.
You were not. You were at home doing what you do, your normal routine. But baby, we were out trying to make money at this particular point. And I felt like I'm never doing this again. Like, I love you to death, but I'm never doing this again because you wasted my time and you cut off my money making stuff.
Right. And even if, first of all, who goes to bed like 10:30 on a Saturday night? But even if you do normally, when you know that people are coming over,
you've requested this,
right.
You've planned this, you've bargained and organized the entire thing to get us down here, and then you go to bed at 11 o'clock.
Right.
Now, we sat there and partied and bullshit a little bit longer. So about 12 o'clock, he was like, all right, I'm going. I was like, you know what, motherfucker. Still, I was pissed off because I was like,
I mean, you at least give us to like 1, 2 o'clock.
What the fuck? So meanwhile, me
or you'd be like, listen, girl, I would love for you all to come through, but I go to bed at midnight.
Say that.
And then be like, okay, girl.
And we would have been like, great. So guess what? How about we do this another day? Maybe on a Sunday or Sunday afternoon, because nobody's doing anything. Because he's getting, I don't even know on there, but anyway, Desmond's on there. Desmond gets off at like 6 or 7, and he could go later. But I was out in the street, so like it's a Saturday night. Person? This is Eric.
Oh.
Come on, like I was a little irritated by that, and then that just pissed me off. However, Mike and that damn coyote bite, bitch. Listen when I tell you everything. Together. Oh my god, I hadn't had one in quite some time, and baby, that coyote bite hit me in the right spot. Bitch, I was laughing at everything. You said boo. I was like
the best shot.
I was cracking up. But anyway, yeah, you have 2 new customers. I meant to tell you, so I just let you know about that.
Well, very good.
But yes, that was. But besides that, it was a good thing. And it wasn't. Let me be clear. It wasn't all bad. That just irritated me a slight bit. And
it would have irritated me too.
And I was just kind of like, really, that's what we're doing?
Because I mean, listen. I 100% respect that you're going to go to bed early, but you the one that said, "Hey, let's get together." So, and you said it at your house. So
where are you going? Like if you
because I'm also the kind of person that's like, don't just show up anytime. I would have clearly defined the parameters and been like, what time are you coming?
And I specifically said, I'm going to be late because I'm out in the street. It won't be. I'll be somewhere between 8 and 10 is when I will get there.
Right, and then I'd have been like,
that was the time for you to say, you not go to bed at 11.
Yeah, that's a little late for me. So let's plan for another time.
Perfectly fine.
Right.
But anyway. Other than that, it was all good.
But you're not bitter.
I'm really bitter about it. Bitter, but I'm just kind of. I think I'm more so disappointed because I was looking forward to having fun.
Yeah.
And bitch, when we got to, and
I mean, you had some fun, but not as much as you wanted to.
Listen, the 45 minutes that we spent kikiing, baby, we was kikiing down.
Mm-hmm.
But that's one of them things.
Well,
that
maybe she's an early kiki from now on. At somebody else's house, so then she can leave whenever she's tired.
It won't be at nobody else's house. It won't be.
Anywho,
it won't be.
So anyway, what else happened?
But no, that was. I mean, that was it. That was the thing for my weekend. That kind of made me.
It happened.
Yeah, made me make
this happened.
But it's good. So yeah, it was good. But I mean, other than that, not a whole lot going on. Yeah, not a whole lot going on. It was just a regular old weekend.
Regular.
Yeah, weekend.
Good.
How was your weekend?
My weekend was fine. I had said to the slave, I was like, let's go for a hike on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And so we went and did Oxen Run Park.
I've driven past that recently. And,
yeah, it's right there just before you cross the bridge, the Wilson Bridge. If you're coming from Forest Heights and Eastover.
Yeah.
Is literally right there. So as you taking the exit to get on to 95 to cross the Wilson Bridge, and that's this exit, but this exit takes you to the park. So you go to the park, you park, and we walked.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Coyote, not 2, 3 people, 3 new customers. I'll text you afterwards and give you some information.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, sorry.
So we do the hike, right? And what are you doing on Sunday to make money? What is your hustle?
Something.
Oh, he does Lyft.
Yeah.
He drives Lyft.
Yeah. Something came from Baltimore. Oh, that's what's his face?
Yes. Thomas.
I cannot. Well, I was going to say TJ. I don't know why I'm going to say TJ, but hey.
Hey.
I'm sorry. I can't. I've seen something came from Baltimore. That's how I know who you are. Hey.
And so we did the walk. The walk is cool. So it was a gradual but long descent down because you're at the street level.
Is that like the one we did from Virginia coming back up?
Oh. It's much gentler and on a paved path.
Okay.
So we get there, then we walking in the water, and so we're walking. I had told Tom.
Tom, thank you. Hey Tom, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm so sorry. Listen, blame it on the over 50.
The head, not the heart.
Yeah, because I didn't got my shots and stuff, and I got my old man shots last week. So yeah. Anyway,
so we're walking, and everything is cool. It was just a very relaxing, low key sort of thing. But by the time I was starting to be a little bit over it, and plus, the slaves walking around with this huge plug in him, and so he was like, oh, so all you got to do is, we got to cross this little stream here. And it really was just a hop over stream. It was not a
go swimming.
No, it was just a hop over the ford stream. And then you pick the trail back up. And then he was like, yeah, the park, the entrance is just on the other side of this rise. So we get back to the other side. And I was like, this is not a rise. This is a fucking neighborhood. And then so I said to him, I said, so who told you that the trail picked up here? And he said, oh, I remember the last time I came here, this biker said, the trail is just on the other side of this. I was like, next time you do this, I need you to confirm this before we go. Because remember how that gentle slope
down,
a gentle but constant slope down?
Yeah.
we're in a neighborhood. So now we're walking on a sidewalk the same almost mile with the street at a constant incline back up.
So that was a good workout.
It was much more of a workout than either of us had anticipated. But it wasn't like it was not like when we went to Scotch Run. It was not like
that really wasn't that bad though. It was Scotch Run was really good though. It's short.
It was not as steep as that incline. That was like steep. That was like almost a 45-degree fucking incline coming. Yeah. It wasn't quite that bad, but it was definitely like climb up, and then the climb continued around the bend, and then so it snaked a little bit, and then so when we finally got back to the car, I was like, yeah, next time, how about you just not take the word of a stranger that the trail connects back. It ended up not being terrible because we ended up walking through a cute little neighborhood and stuff, so it was fine. Then afterwards we went to
bitch, I cannot imagine with a butt plug all this time. Bitch, I cannot. Shout out to you, Slave.
He did not keep it in the whole time, which I found out later, and I was annoyed because the rule is if it comes out, you put it back in, and he's always like, "Well, I try to, but so we'll deal with that when I see him again, because where we ended up, there was not time for proper discipline." So we went to that little, I can't remember the fucking name of it, but that little cafe if you're on Duke Street. So you know where the Whole Foods is?
Yeah.
Right across the street from the Whole Foods is a little cafe.
So wait, I don't know why the Hard Times Cafe is coming to my mind. It's not that. I don't know why that name, but I know what you're talking about. I just don't.
So that was a cute little spot. We went there for brunch, and that was really good. Then we went back to his apartment building.
Wait, there's several too.
No, it's just the one.
Whole Foods on Duke Street. So when you come up the highway, there's stuff on this side.
Near Eisenhower Avenue Metro, near King Street Metro.
There's stuff on this side, and there's stuff across the street. Yeah. That 2-lane highway.
No.
Route 7?
No.
Okay, never mind. All right, I'm on the list. Okay.
Use Waze.
Was that Route 1?
Just use Waze.
Anyway, I know what a Whole Foods is. But anyway, go ahead. Go ahead.
Route 1 is Patrick Street.
And okay.
King Street and Duke Street run perpendicular.
Duke is 7, I thought.
No.
Okay.
That's Leesburg Highway.
Okay.
It's much further down.
All right, no problem.
Yeah.
This is why I don't do Virginias. I don't listen. I don't do Virginias. All of it.
Clearly.
I don't do Virginias at all.
Clearly.
None of it.
So we got back to his apartment, and we went up to the club room and met up, and there was a meeting in the ladies' room.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. So that was fun.
You had your Gianni Versace shirt. You had your Kenneth
I did. Mm-hmm.
And your hair was looking.
My nails was done, and my hair was fierce.
Right.
And I got back in my Cooper's limousine.
Right.
Don't you want to ride? And then the rest of the evening was slow key. Sunday, I went to brunch with Freaky McNasty, and
are you here? Are you here, Freaky McNasty?
Yeah, she's here.
Oh, Freaky McNasty, bitch, you're here. Oh, okay. Guess what? I just heard from Lil Bird that you was running a little late.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was more that he didn't use the Googles.
I mean, I'm just saying, bitch,
Yeah, I was like, girl, every time I get in the car,
what?
Right. Don't slap me because I'm not in the mood. Hallelujah.
Right.
I was just remarking on how much 14th Street has changed. Because when I was a teenager,
oh my God.
When I was a teenager, I wanted to stand on the corner and be like, this used to be a strip club, right? This was a strip club. This was a gay club. This used to be right here where this Steak and Shake is. This used to be the Olympia Bathhouse. And across the street from the Olympia Bathhouse was the strip club that Mayor Marion Barry got caught coming out of back in the 80s. This was not the Vista Motel where the bitch set him up, but that was later. The first time it was the scandal. Then it was like the mayor got caught coming out of a strip club, and it wasn't even like a classy strip club. It was like the gutter bucket strip club.
But all I remember is when he was like, "The bitch set me up."
Like he said it on the news. He was like, "The bitch set me up." I was like,
that was hilarious.
It was hilarious, but also very sad.
It was very sad. I know,
because I was like, "Oh, she's gone for it."
Oh, but
you know, these colors in this city, they will cape for some Marion Barry. Marion Barry could have slapped the shit out of their mom, and they'd be like, "What you do to deserve it, mama?" And you know why? Because Marion Barry knew how to work the crowd.
He did.
And you know what he did? No matter how poorly the city ran, he always made sure there was money for summer youth jobs.
And
so the kids would be like,
you know, this series,
this shit is terrible.
Yeah.
But at least I got a job for the summer. I was like, you got a job at the expense of all the other government services. But anyway, so I was just remarking on, you know, everybody and all of the non-people of color there, and how the neighborhood has changed, and how when a neighborhood becomes gentrified, they mistake fancy restaurants for culture. And here's my thing. So one, a Korean Mexican fusion restaurant is not culture. So that's one. Two, I'm not supporting your Korean Mexican fusion restaurant if I walk in your restaurant and no one in the restaurant, and none of the chefs or none of the staff is either Korean or Mexican. And I'm not talking about the busboy. I'm not talking about the runner. I'm not talking about the dude cutting vegetables. If the chef and the chefs are not either Korean or Mexican, I'm not supporting your Korean Mexican fusion joint. So, like, you know, there's a ton of, you know, the cute Vietnamese restaurant that serves the best, you know, pho, or so other people say serves the best pho. And I was like, girl, there ain't nobody in here Vietnamese. None of this. First of all, if ain't no Vietnamese people in here eating, I ain't going.
Be a very good indication.
I ain't going. Something. So if you go to a Chinese restaurant and people tell you it's the best Chinese restaurant, if I walk in there
and you don't see no Chinese,
and I don't see no people that look like they're from that part of the world, I'm not going, because clearly it is not. It's like if we were to go to Germany and they've got, you know, they got best American hamburger spot, and I don't see nobody from that looks, you know, like American, if they all, you know, got on lederhosen and shit,
like
then no. So, you know, that's just my thing about gentrification and culture. You know, people be mistaken, you know, fancy restaurants and shit for culture, and I'm like, this isn't culture, because it's not even authentic representation. And sriracha does not go in everything.
Don't say that, because, you know, some people will equate that hot sauce don't go on everything. So don't say that.
I'm saying, David, you know, first of all, hot sauce go on everything. I'm just going to be clear. So let's begin and end there. That hot sauce go on everything. And it is not Tabasco. It's either got to be the Crystal,
Red Hot,
Texas.
I'll let Texas slide.
Or the Chihuly,
Louisiana. Cholula is actually really good.
Yes, it's really good. It's got to be really thick. Good. It's got to have some thickness to it. It's really good. So I don't fuck with Tabasco. Tabasco is just like painful. It's not even painful, but it's just heat with no flavor. So I don't fuck with Tabasco.
You know. But I love the thought that bacon, butter, and cheese goes on anything. You can find me something that bacon,
butter, and cheese, and hot sauce
go on something, then there's a problem. Because people, I need bacon, butter, or cheese on something. But
yeah, because we went to Ted's Bulletin.
Ted's Bulletin is pretty. I like Ted's Bulletin. I like their portion sizes.
The portion sizes were good, but
especially for like a good brunch like that. They're really good for that on Sunday. Like, they're really good with that. I hate the fact that they are always. It's like a damn movie premiere. It's so crowded in there all the time,
and it's so crowded, and the food isn't that good. So that's why I'm like,
good, but it's good. But
that's why I'm like, why is this place so crowded? Because nothing in here is that spectacular. Yeah. You know, the kids go in for those homemade Pop-Tarts.
I like, and I'm like,
they're not.
They're
the
doughy.
dough.
If you don't like dough, then you're not
The
gonna like
dough is thick as shit.
Yeah.
And it's got like a single dollop of the juice or whatever the fuck it is, the filling in the middle. So I'm like,
Hey, Atlas.
this isn't.
Well,
Now the Bloody Mary was good. And they do have a generous sized
baby,
mimosa.
you will always get the kids if your drinks are right. Everything else will fall.
Nah, it was cute, but it wasn't cute enough for me to be like.
But again, note to all those people that may be watching: if the drinks are right, you will get the kids.
That's why Maximus, we're planning for this weekend and talk about places to go. He was like, "Where should we go for brunch?" And he was like, "Before you say it, girl, we're not going to fucking Aleros." I was like, "What is wrong with Aleros?" He was like, "Not everybody likes Tex-Mex and Mexican." I was like, so first of all,
the drinks are right.
First of all, the drinks are right. It's unlimited mimosas. Unlimited. And when I say unlimited, they actually put a whole, if it's like a table of 20 people, it's at least 5 to 7 pitchers of mimosas at the table that they keep filled, because it just don't make sense for them to be walking around trying to make a mimosa every fucking time. So they keep the pitchers filled, and they got those bomb ass passion fruit margaritas, and most of the food on the buffet is just regular American breakfast food.
Yeah, I think is that the passion fruit Cadillac. Wait, it's the passion fruit frozen margarita.
The frozen passion fruit margarita.
Right,
yeah. You're thinking of the frozen pomegranate margarita from Rosa Mexicana.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
We need to go there too. We haven't been there.
She was good. I haven't.
She's really good.
She was really
with
good.
Some with they table made guacamole.
Yeah, I'm out. I'm out. Me and Guac don't really get along.
What? My Coyote doesn't like Aleros?
No Alero, no bueno. Aleros is so. Aleros.
I love them. I think the food is always good,
for me.
consistently.
But that's just like L'Oreal Plaza. Like I like L'Oreal Plaza. I think L'Oreal Plaza gives you great food. I'm saying it's decent Mexican food.
It's Pan Caribbean.
Is it Pan Caribbean?
Because it's Mexican, Puerto Rican.
Some
South American, Cuban, all kinds of stuff.
I love their tortilla chips because they're always really fresh. And
it's the swirl margaritas.
It's the swirl margaritas. And bitch, listen, Maximus, bitch, bitch, we have gone up in that motherfucker. Listen,
and you're like, bitch, how long have we been here?
Bitch, me and Maximus have been up. We are leaning up against each other like, bitch, wait, now how many? Bitch, what?
Speaking of all you can drink brunches, I don't have a cup, but if I did, it will be time to pour a little out for Beacon Bar and Grill.
So let me just insert my 2 cents here.
Mm-hmm.
I have been one time before that I remember. One time that I remember. I heard the stories of, but I've only
the legend of Beacon Bar and Grill.
I think when I went, it was
all right, Coyote. Then I expect a list. There are other places for a cheap brunch that's good. Now our criteria is liquor. Cheap brunch, but it's got to have a good selection of food, not a 1-page menu that's got like 2 entrees and that's it. So it's got to have a good menu, but most importantly, good bottomless liquor. Mimosas. If it don't have bottomless mimosas, by definition, it's not a good brunch.
So okay, so
so back to Beacon Bar and Grill.
Yeah, I will gauge a place on the mimosas they have unlimited, but that's not my thing because it's the tannins. It's the tannins for me. No, it gives me headaches. But anyway, yes, I think it's the I think we went there for a Onyx thing. I think right when I went over, I think it was something afterwards. I think we went there. I think that's the only time
we had our holiday brunch there in like 2016.
Is that the one time I think that's the one?
It was like in a private room.
It may
have
been one other time that I went like that, but I respect the legend of it. So
no, girl, the kids were not carrying on. Oh, maybe they were. I'll be too fucked up.
In the bathroom?
No, because them bathrooms are too small for that, and they are right. The bathrooms at the Beacon Bar and Grill. Well, actually, they do have a second set of bathrooms. You know what? The kids made very well.
What's Ted and the Nully? Oh, Teddy and the Nully. I don't know
I've
what
never heard of that before. And also, it can be a drag brunch. I fucking hate drag brunches.
I don't mind drag
because
brunches.
The drag, well, except for Shaquita's drag brunch. Shaquita's drag brunch is good, but usually the drag is not good and the food ain't good.
Well, it's either one or the other. Yeah, you're not gonna get both.
Right.
But I mean, I've been to some drag brunches that were amazing.
Well, I have not.
Well, and they weren't here. Also, they were also in different places.
So I do want to go to that drag brunch in Miami. The one that's like on
outside.
The street. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Bitch,
That was where we
listen.
was going to go when we went to the beach that time, but it was like it was going to take forever
That's right.
to
That's right. That's right. That's right.
get there.
Bitch, I would have.
Oh, Teddy and the Bully Bar, Lincoln Shaw Tavern. Okay, so we're gonna have to.
Teddy and the
All right,
Bully
so
Bar.
we're gonna test some of those out.
Okay. Well, I mean, so we need to set this up. We need to do a tasting.
Right,
before-
of each
well,
of
we don't.
those.
Yeah, because I mean, clearly it's not gonna happen this weekend. But
I mean, we
need a
can just do
tasting.
any of those.
Yeah, any
one
of those.
weekends.
So, like, can you set that up, Coyote? Can you make it happen for us, like a Saturday or something? Like, can we plan for that? I need to get you on my calendar early because I know your schedule is crazy as well.
Beacon Bar and Grill. So the legend of Beacon Bar and Grill is that she was put on the map by the kids because she's literally,
hey, creative queen.
Hey, baby, she's literally right across the street from HRC headquarters.
Right.
Literally.
Right.
This isn't figurative. This is on one corner is HRC. Diagonally across from HRC is the fucking YMCA. And then across the street on the same side of that street is Beacon Bar and Grill. She used to go. We put her on the map, particularly for us in Onyx. We would go and we would always tip well because the brunch would be like $29 for all you can drink. And we'd be like, all right, girl, everybody just pony up 50. So, or thereabouts, some of the girls' money was a little funny, but we always tipped well.
Right.
And there was a time when we would go like at least twice a month.
Okay.
And so it got to the point where we would just call him and be like, hey, Carlos, we got a party of 20 on Sunday. He was like, hold on, let me bump these people.
Slide the one.
And
slide the abacus,
make this happen. And girl, we would be there. We would get there like 12 o'clock. And because it's attached to a hotel, so they also serve dinner and other stuff, right? But we would get there at 12, and so they stopped serving at 3 o'clock, I believe. But they would let you eat all of the food that was there because it's like we don't have to throw any of this away, so you could keep eating. But we had stopped eating a long time ago, and so any bottle of champagne that was open, they would let you continue to drink out of. And so, like the waiter, his name was Omar. He was this tall, cute. I'm sure he was straight, but he knew he had a big booty. And we're not the kind of gays that are that pressed, except for Wicked. You know how she do.
I know exactly who that is.
But the rest of us is like, okay, she's cute or whatever, but we're not like fantasizing about him. But he gave good service. He knew the kids like to drink, so he would put like, if there were 10 people at the table, there would be one more than enough pitchers of margarita for every 2 people. So there would be 6 pitchers of margarita of mimosas at the table, and we would fuck all of those up. And so we would leave. We would always be the last people to leave at like 5:30, almost 6 o'clock in the evening, still from brunch. Your lips be all tingly and shit. And you be like, girl, I'm going home.
I got to go lay down.
Right.
Get it together.
That was an epic brunch. But see, what happened was, it wasn't us. But this is what happens to the gay places. And I mostly blame gay millennials. Because gays of a certain age, that includes people our age and people like Sydney's age, we grew up, we maybe had this fantasy of living this white picket fence life.
Yeah.
But once it became clear that we were gay, we was like, and gay marriage wasn't a thing. You only had kids like if you had inherited the kids because somebody died or something. So it wasn't an aspiration to have kids. So we were fine with that. So like there were gay bars, and there's gay bars for the gays. There's gay restaurants. There's gay gyms. There was a whole gay town and infrastructure. And I say blame the millennials. It's progress, I guess. But millennials grew up with
all of that being
with Will and Grace, with TV shows that showed the gay life. They show, gay marriage was becoming a thing. And so unlike us, who were almost always ostracized or in the closet in high school, these girls was coming out. They always had like straight girlfriends or whatever. So what would happen was, here's the gay spot. the lesbians. Please do not let me forget the lesbians and the trans people. So it was the LGBTQ community in this restaurant. We was fucking it up, having a wonderful time. Everybody got along. Then, particularly the gays, millennial gays started bringing their straight girlfriends with them. Whereas it would never occur to me, like I have a few straight female friends, but I would be like, I'm not bringing you to brunch. This is like a gay temple. I wouldn't bring you to an all-you-can-drink gay brunch. But the millennials started bringing not even their hags, just their female friends to the brunch. And so like a couple of times it would be the gays with their female friends. And you know, like, listen, girl, if that's your friend, she's our friend too. So we're going to be cool. Absolutely. It's not that big a deal. But
I will also say that we grew up men of a certain age where, listen, How to Train a Dragon, it was not about How to Train a Dragon, it was about how to train your hag.
Right.
My hags were always
exactly
together.
And then, so here's what happened. For like 6 months to a year, you and your female friend would come to brunch. We always knew it was going to be a problem when you were invited. Like, it's 10 of us, and then you'd invited 5 women. It is not about the women. It's like, this is like the friend group, and you invited a bunch of strangers here, and we talking about gay shit.
We don't know her.
And then we talking about gay shit, and they don't have anything to talk about. So then here's what happens. It goes from us with the one gay friend one female friend, straight friend, female per group, to now we got to compete for a reservation with groups of straight women. Then it went from the gays, and so it's fine. All right, so we all like dick.
Don't forget about the lingo.
So, and we're not even gonna get to the clubs in a moment, because the same thing happens in the clubs. But so, you know,
you better speak it.
Everybody in the spot used to be lesbian, gay, bisexual, or trans. Now it was all of that plus groups of straight women.
Yep.
So, I mean, and the restaurant isn't but so big, so that means everybody can't get a reservation.
That is correct.
But it's fine. We just find another spot to go to. Alero's became that new spot. But the downfall of the Beacon Bar and Grill was it went from all gay.
You better just go ahead and educate and give this.
I'm giving you the lesson. Children, I'm giving you the history.
This history of the Beacon Bar and why the DC gay community or gay scene has changed.
Right. So it went from LGBTQ plus straight girls. Then it went to LGBTQ plus groups of straight girls with their boyfriends. Then it went to very few gays, because it's like, now it's a bunch of straight people here.
Exactly.
And they started bringing their fucking kids. And listen, when we knew it was over, in the one day, this is how we knew we weren't going to keep coming back to Beacon Bar and Grill. I saw this little girl grab a whole handful of bacon off the bar. Because before, this is all adults. So it's not like Bob's Big Boy. It's not like the Chinese buffet where everything is behind a sneeze guard. This shit is set out beautifully on tables with glass pieces, and it's just a plate of bacon there because everybody's a fucking adult. So you don't have to. But now that there's kids there, kids are literally grabbing food and shit off of it. I saw this little girl eat a piece of, they had like the French toast stick. This bitch, she's not a bitch. But this little girl ate a fucking piece of bacon, or if it was a French toast stick, she ate something and then put the rest back on the fucking food bar. So there was that. Then, we're having conversation about dicks, and then Eccentric said it because the boyfriends were getting upset that the girlfriends kept hanging with the gays. So they would come. And so here we are. We're having fairly loud conversations about dicks and asses
from the evening or from the weekend
or whatever, when it was just the gays. And then even when it was just the gays and the girls, that wasn't a problem. It didn't become a problem until the boyfriends came, and then the kids. And then I remember one time this white woman said to us, it's like, excuse me, you can't be talking about penises all loud at the table. And baby, I had just enough drinks. And I'm like, and you shouldn't have brought your child to a fucking all-you-can-drink brunch. If you don't like it, find somewhere else to go. Denny's is open 24 hours.
And they have a kids menu.
Right. I don't even understand why you would come to a place like this with kids. And so that's why people stop going to that. And that is the story, at least in DC, probably in New York and Detroit and every gay place of any spot.
And I'm not a fan of that.
We're going to get to that in a moment. That is the story of every gay restaurant and gay bar. Because, you know, and for gay bars, it's a little different. Because
come on,
Spesh says people swear their kids should go everywhere. You had kids stay home or go to a jamboree.
I know that's right, Spesh. God damn it. Yes, you better speak your mind.
Exactly. But so here's what happens with the gay clubs. And I respect that
the same thing happens.
That straight women don't necessarily feel safe or whatever in the straight clubs. So they start coming to the gay clubs and the gays are like accepting, right? But then the straights are like, I don't feel comfortable with, gay porn being shown on the bitch. It's a fucking gay bar.
In fact, and then now I feel some type of way if I go to a club and I don't see some porn playing.
That is why they don't show porn like they used to at the Green Lantern. Because women started going there and started complaining about the gay porn being shown. Because remember, you used to go to the Green Lantern.
There was always a television playing with something on it.
It wouldn't just be pictures. It was actual gay porn being shown on the monitors in the Green Lantern. And they stopped doing that because women, listen, I am not a He-Man woman hater.
No,
I'm not saying that at all. I am saying that, and it's a gentrification thing.
Yes, if you're coming into an environment that was set up by
somebody else,
for someone else that's predominantly gay and or predominantly, I can't even say predominantly male, but predominantly gay, or actually not even predominantly gay, but all gay.
That would be
that's how it was set up.
Right.
And now you're going to dictate to them because you are the one lone minority person. And I should say minority female person in that particular establishment that you are now being offended by the video. Get the step into it. Beat it.
That would be like me going to a lesbian bar and they have lesbian porn playing on the monitor.
It's like,
and men be
no
like,
dicks. I don't want to see all this video.
I'm like, girl, this is a lesbian bar. This is the fuck. I mean, do I feel comfortable here? Maybe. Because I've heard sometimes, I've been to very few lesbian bars, but I've heard some gays and some people love going to the lesbian bars as a gay man because it feels very low key. There's not the pressure because there's no whatever.
I
respect that. But if I do go to a lesbian bar, I'm not expecting them to change because I'm there. You're welcome at the gay bar, but it's a gay bar.
Yeah. I've had no interest to go into a lesbian bar, and the times that I have gone into them, I've had a wonderful time because of the people that I was with. That's why I had a good time, because of the people I was with. It wasn't that it was lesbian or that it was not gay or
even if it is
not male or whatever. I had a wonderful time because of the people.
It's a gentrifier, and you know what I mean.
Space.
You know what I mean.
Yeah,
but black girls do it too.
Some of them do. Some of them do.
But they come into a space and they want to take over.
Child, that's the problem.
That's what happened. You know where else that happened? You know where else that happened? You know where else that happened? Motherfucking Ziegfelds. Ziegfelds, for those of you who never gone to Ziegfelds.
Bridal Shower Central.
I remember the first time I went to, it's Edge Wet in Ziegfelds. So Wet in Ziegfelds. And I was like,
well, using my now, because even then,
they were on the other side, but it's the same concept.
Yeah.
I was like, because before, I remember we grew up at a time where you didn't have access to the internet the way you do now.
This is true.
So yes, I had seen gay porn,
right?
But I had never been to a strip club where people were totally naked. And Ziegfelds and the Wet was the first time I went to a strip club where they were totally naked, and there were cute Black, Latino, and Asian men there.
Picture it. Me and the motherfucking Wet on a Tuesday night. I'm sitting there getting fucked up. I was like, I got my sister. I'm like, bitch, whatever. I'm sitting at the bar. I put my drink down on the bar.
And somebody put their dick in
the
drink.
And the motherfucking dancer picked my drink up, put his dick in my drink. And I was like,
for a half second, you was like, Bitch, did he just put his dick in
Bitch, you just put your dick in my rum and coke. Because I was drinking rum and coke like a motherfucker there. You just put your dick in my rum and coke.
And then you were like,
and I was sitting there like this. I was like, and I looked, and it's so funny because I looked to my right, and Eric, it was Eric. He was like, bitch, don't drink that. I was like,
the alcohol will kill whatever was in it.
Since I've learned that now, as we know.
So yeah, but so here's what happened at Ziegfeld's. They have a shower and everything. Yep. So again, straight girls started coming there for their bachelor parties. Yep. And so it used to be a bunch of gays, the occasional lesbians, because, you know, they like the energy or whatever. And, you know, the bis and the trans, again, LGBTQ community. Right. We was all together. It was great. It was like, great. Even in, you know, DC is still one of the few venues where the strippers get completely naked.
Yeah, and it's so sad because I don't even know where the hell they even go at this particular point.
Right.
That's a whole nother story.
And so I was like, girl, this is great. We can stand here, we can tip these strippers, you know, big dicks, you know, asses, you know, the girls was bending over, showing you their whole uterus.
Shout out to Shake Dog. Lord have mercy.
Showing you all of their business and everything. It was beautiful.
Shake dog.
It was lovely. And then, you know, some girl came in with her fucking bachelorette party. And then, you know, if you come in with 20 girls for her bachelorette party, then the next one in that group gets married, comes for their bachelorette party. And then, so I hadn't been to the Ziegfeld's in like 2 or 3 years. And a friend of mine, I think it was Wicked, was like, girl, she's different. And I went in there and I was like, what? The crowd used to be like 95% LGBTQ plus and 5% female. I went in there and it was like at least 65% white girls. And that was also a little, because most of the dancers are black
creepy
or Latino. Times. They don't know how to act.
They're a little creepy because they don't know how aggressive, like super aggressive.
Very aggressive. I've seen some of them. Because, I mean, you know, some women,
I get it.
Some women have smaller bodies, but they be trying to drink. And so they get real fucked up real easily. And they start getting real handsy in the bar. Whereas we're like, okay, girl, I'm just going to sit here and sip my cocktail and watch this dude swing his dick around. They be like all up in their faces. And I've seen girls get thrown out. So, yeah, I don't go back there no more.
Yeah.
So that was a very long story about how gay life has changed, particularly in DC. And then the gays had things on it too, because now that the gays can get married, you know, they're part of the whole fucking problem.
Yeah. Well,
because, you know, now the gays want to have kids and they're just as bad as the straights. I've been places where people are like, Little Madison doesn't want to hear you talking about dicks. I was like, well, you should take Little Madison.
Little Madison needs elsewhere. To go, she's still a kid. You need to take her because if she's in
stay in a fucking child's place.
Yeah, she's in an adult space. This is what adults talk about.
Yes, you are gay and you're cool. Your child is cool too. I'm not saying I don't like kids, but there are places that kids don't belong.
And this is absolutely adult space. And at during that time, there was also a space and a place for your actual hag as well. Because I would excuse all right, baby, it's time for you to go home.
Because I'm about to go on the back. So here's one or two things. You can either sit out here and, you know, chit chat with these girls, but I'm about to go on the back.
I want to make sure you get home. You taking your ass home. Let me get you a cab.
Right.
Walk you to your car, make sure that you're not drunk, give you this bottle of water and get you a cup of coffee so you can sober up on the way home. Because when you get home, you're going to probably fuck your boyfriend or your husband. At the time, it was different for her.
Right.
But, okay, great. You good? All right. Bye. I'll call you later. I know, girl. I'll call you when I get up.
I'll be up later. Much later.
Let me know that you got home.
Much later in the day.
That's it.
Sometime later.
Right. Just let me know you got in. So, you know.
That's what happened, because Dylan, who was in the chat, went to the high heel race yesterday, and he asked me, was I going? I was like, no, too many straights and too many kids. Because I remember when I first started going to the high heel race, again, it was the L's, the B's, the G's, the T's, and the Q's.
Right.
And it was cute.
Yeah, it's completely.
And then more and more people started coming out, and it was, you know, just the girls, then the girls with their husbands, then the girls with their kids. And they get insufferable when people have kids. And so now they're like, excuse me, my kid can't see. I was like, girl, it's not. First of all, it's like 9 o'clock at night. This 3-year-old shouldn't even be up and out.
Why are they still out?
That's one. Two, The whole world doesn't revolve around your fucking kids. So why should I move and not be? Because again, it's not just you. It's not just the child that needs it. Because if you put your stroller in the front, that's fine. But now it's you and your 6'3" husband in front. So now I can't see.
Right.
So that you, your husband, and your kid can see where that. How that work.
Listen, and the last time I went, I think I may have gone one at a time, but the last time I went was the time I danced in the parade. And then that was it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, it's just too many folks, and it's a lot.
And listen,
it's a lot.
we were all children once.
Yes, but
the thing is that Charles and Stephanie knew that there were
Mary
things, there were places for children.
This is not a
and there were places for adults.
Let me drop you off. I'm gonna come back when I get finished, and that's what we're gonna do. That's because
my mother, they used to call them cabarets in PG County growing up. Cabaret was just a little spot like the Quonset Hut or Utopia. It was the club. They didn't call it the club back then. They called it the cabaret.
Okay.
You get a babysitter
and you go out.
But what the adults would do, they get one babysitter for like 5 or 10 kids.
Right.
Everybody chip in, pay this girl extra. They tell you, listen,
I'm gonna be out tonight.
I'm gonna be out. If you fuck around and I got to come home from this night, I'm going to beat your ass.
Listen,
I'm going to whoop your ass. And they would go, and it wasn't no, oh, we're going to go out for 2 hours. No, girl, they're going out and they're staying out all fucking night.
Because when my mom came back, bitch, I was asleep. My mother would be like,
sleep,
wake up. We're going home. I'm like, well,
right.
We going home. Now, meanwhile,
and sometimes it would just turn into a sleepover. Yeah. They wouldn't come and pick you up till the next day.
And that was just, she wasn't really big on that unless it was like a specific family member. But it would be late. Like I remember getting in the car. I'm like, what time is it? It would be like 1 o'clock in the morning, which was late for her because she was still kind of like,
right.
Let me get back home. I got this kid, and But
right, the world doesn't know. I mean, I do love kids. But the world don't revolve. I love kids, and not sure if I ever had kids, I would love my kids. But the world don't revolve around your kids.
That's how the world would revolve around it in my space
right,
that
now,
I created for them.
If I'm
going to somebody else's house,
right?
Like if they come in Uncle Dominion's house, listen,
right?
You already know Uncle Dominion don't play too much shit, so just let's sit down. But before we even get to that point, these are your manners. Just treat this like it's your home.
Or like there are places that are for kids, like Disney World. If I go to Disney World, okay, girl, the kids run amok.
There were children there. I literally don't register them as existing.
But you were also, Dylan was also in the race.
Oh, you? So, oh my God!
Yeah, he ran both heats of the race.
Come on, Dylan.
Yes, I saw all them cakes.
What did you run? Was this run? Were you running like at least a 3-inch, 4-inch, 5-inch, or would you run in like a little kitten heel?
It looked like a chunky kitten heel.
So it was a chunky kitten heel.
I was a little.
It was a starter pump, Dylan.
It was a starter pump. It was a starter pump boot.
Okay, so wait a minute. So I'm gonna try to give you credit for the chunky heel and for the boot because it does give you support around the ankle. But this heel, if it wasn't at least 3 inches down, we're gonna have a conversation about this.
It was 3 inches. He's still learning. He's still young. We've got a 3-inch wedge. Okay, so 3-inch wedge.
See, I'm backing a wedge because my ass. Listen, these toes ain't gonna hurt. Bitch, I'm backing a wedge. But baby, listen. Okay, all right. But okay, we'll have a conversation about that later.
Yeah. So
a 3-inch wedge.
I 100%
talk about this later.
Right. I 100% don't want anyone to get the impression that I am anti-kid and I don't like kids because I love kids.
Kids are fun.
I really do. And kids are fun. But I think that because a lot of parents are significantly younger than they were when because my mother was 22 when I was born and my father was 28.
Yeah, mine was 27.
So, people are having, and the world has an expectation that kids are welcome in more places than they were. In 1971, like if you had your kid at like certain kinds of restaurants, people would be like, girl, what the why is your child, like if we went to
Del Frisco's,
people would be like, why is there a child here in Del Frisco's?
And the other thing
now, if you took your child to Red Lobster, who gives a fuck?
Right. And the other thing is, I remember as a kid going out to restaurants like that for like whatever special occasion. And I remember being one
conversation.
It was a baby. You listen, Mary Alice would grit them. Listen here.
Right. If you fuck around in this restaurant and I got the show out in this restaurant.
Oh my goodness. And and then the other thing is it was a booth. I always sat on the inside as opposed to the outside. It was like whatever you needed. It was like, let me take care of this for him. What do you want? Like it was all those are precautions that were taken,
and it was
so
a
that I wouldn't be an
precautions, and it was
issue.
the expectations of behavior. Because
Like,
I've been in restaurants.
like, don't show
I've been
out.
in restaurants where the kids are like running up and down the
Oh, no,
aisles.
ma'am.
Even in like
No,
Bob's
ma'am.
Big Boy when I was
No, ma'am.
a waiter, or like now you just see the kids
Hey,
running up
Louboutin.
and down the aisles and in grocery stores and
No,
shit.
ma'am.
There is none of that, and I'm like, and so I'm the fool. I'm the bad person if I hit your child with this cart.
It was very much of the look, the grit, and then the point. It was
Mhm.
like, back here.
If
This is where
she,
you should
if
be.
she actually had the point, because you're already out of pocket because you got up. You was already way out of pocket if you
Listen,
got up.
that-
If there
mm-mm.
was a place
Mm-mm.
where kids' behavior was allowed, but you start getting too out of pocket, here was Stephanie.
She's still, yeah.
Hold on, you gotta, so you can hear it. So y'all can really hear it. No, this is, I can't get it because because it's too much oil on my fingers. But
that
let me
loud
tell you,
snap, yeah.
Stephanie's snap would get you together from all the way across the room.
You'd be like, shit.
Like, damn it, I done fucked up. Because if she got a snap,
and then it was the pause, the face, because you lock eyes. Once you hear it, you're like, snap. You're like,
it's that slight head turn and like,
and then you sitting there like, and then you wait and you mumble to your friends like, oh shit, I'm gonna get in trouble when I get home. Oh god.
And whatever you was doing, y'all could have been like, woo, snap.
I gotta go.
You're like,
I gotta go.
I gotta go.
I
need to minimize the damage. So I need to go sit right here. Like, hi, mommy, can I get you a glass of water? Would you like some more? But then you got to be careful because she's like, you trying it right now.
And then she's still doing the conversation. Like her girlfriend's sitting there, she's looking at you. She's like, yeah, girl. I was going to.
Exactly.
You're like, yeah, girl. Because you look at you like, yeah, girl. When I get home,
exactly. Oh, you was about to get it. But nowadays, kids could just run around and do whatever, and then, like, even when we're on the cruise ships, my parents never took me on a cruise, but I'm like, why are y'all running around indoors?
That wasn't.
And where are your parents? Like, this whole idea, I just don't even. I guess because we're on a boat, it's a little bit more. But I just feel like if my parents took me on a cruise, they would be like, so here go the kid stuff to do. The kid stuff ended at 6:00. You got till 6:10 to be back in our room. Ain't no just running around on the cruise ship with the friends that you made. None of that. So
y'all will go to this room. You'll be in this room. That's what y'all play in the kids' area. That's it.
Right.
But
Charlie, it's after 9:00, so we ain't get to none of the stories. That's fine.
That's why we have a show. We can talk about
whatever the fuck we want to. Here's this real quick. So another level of evil. Dr. Dre allegedly served documents regarding his divorce from estranged wife Nicole Young during funeral for grandmother. Fans left speechless. I'm not gonna read the story. Here's my thing. I don't give a shit about Dr. Dre because Dr. Dre beat the shit out of D. That wasn't allegedly. You can see the bruises. They both about D from what show was that? BET. Was it 106? No, it was before. Whatever that black music show that preceded 106 and Park.
You're talking about the Donnie, like the Video Soul or whatever?
Yes, she was like not video vixen. She was like
the host.
The host. Her name was D something. D Barnes.
D Barnes.
He used to date D Barnes. He beat the shit out of her. He beat the shit out of Michelle A. So he get what the fuck is coming to him.
Well,
so, and let me tell you, if a woman hates you so much that she deserves, that she serves you with divorce papers at your motherfucking grandmother's funeral, you've done something to deserve that level of hate and animosity.
Because I'm sure she knows what the relationship is. She's like, yeah, girl, can you just pay these? And it was all about her court fees.
Right.
And that's all it was. It's like it could have been served anywhere.
Right.
But anyway, let's get to this next one real quick. The Game is coming back on television. Tasha Mack, Malik Wright, Derwin Davis are back in the official trailer for The Game. Wendy Raquel Robinson. It was interesting. Wendy Raquel Robinson serves as a sport agent. Tasha Mack, Hosea Chanchez as her son, football Malik Wright. Adrian Ray as Brittany Pitts, the daughter of Jason and Kelly Pitts. Vaughn Hebron as Jamison Fields, an undrafted free agent. And Elisa Velez as Raquel Navarro, Brittany's best friend, and Toby Sanderman as Garrett Evans, the top football player in the league. This is going to come back on Thursday, November 11th. That's when the premiere episode is coming back. Next story, real quick. The Spanx founder, she stunned employees with a big surprise to celebrate a $1.2 billion sale. The Atlanta woman who founded Spanx signed a $1 billion deal. Her name is Sarah Blakely. And what she did for her employees, she thanked her employees with a very incredible gift. She stated in the meeting, to celebrate this moment, I have brought each one of you 2 first-class tickets to anywhere in the world. And then she said she also gave each employee $10,000 to spend on the trip, encouraging them to make a memory with their family to celebrate the sale.
Now, the only thing I will say to that is I hope she does what Oprah did. Because when Oprah gave out them free cars, right,
you had to pay
the girls was stunned to find out they had to pay taxes on it. So what Oprah did was pay the taxes too. So I'm hoping that these 2 free tickets around the world and this $10,000 is after taxes.
I don't know. They didn't say, but
so because she just made $1.2 billion.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure she didn't, but she pocketed a good $500 million from this. So that's good. So she's got to know. So good news. A Black woman has been chosen Miss Ireland. So her name is Niara. She was once mistaken as a contender. She was a bartender at a Miss Galloway event in a bar 5 years ago. She was mistaken by a contender for one of the judges. So she daydreamed about competing in the pageant. So in 2021, she was crowned Miss Ireland, making her the first African-American. So is she African-American or is she just African?
African. Her family relocated from South Africa.
She's Afro-Irish, if we're going
there we go. Yeah. They relocated there when she was 7.
Right. So the AKAs are big mad because Amanda Seales wore apparel on the Insecure set, and that was authorized, and they're, quote, unauthorized and saying they're taking steps to protect their brand. I'm like,
so, okay. All right. But listen, I just want to go on record.
Y'all just need to. This is totally out of pocket as far as I'm concerned.
I just want to go on record as saying, first of all, I am a member of a Black Greek letter organization. And for all of you that didn't know, and I will say it because I'm a Kappa, it is what the fuck it is.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've earned all 6 of my motherfucking letters, and they're mine.
Mm-hmm.
Do I feel some type of way about somebody else wearing my letters? Absolutely. However, I understand that this was the character. And the character was written as a member of the sorority. As the director or the creative person on the show, if I did not get in touch with the organization to say, hey, I want to have someone wear the letters, what I would have done was I would have put them in everything except their letters. So all the colors and everything else, like I would have made homage to like the ivy, like I would have done those sorts of things. That's me. That's what I would have done.
Mm-hmm.
Do I feel some type of way about it? I can, because again,
right,
I have earned the right to do what the fuck it is I want to do with my letters. And I feel like anybody that wears those letters, whether they pledged or not, but they are part of the organization, they've earned that right. Would I wear someone else's letters? I probably wouldn't. I would feel weird. Like, it's so funny that you said this was the Alpha Chi Rho cup, and I was sitting there thinking, like,
Alpha Rho.
I'm sorry, Alpha, and no disrespect. I was thinking of,
did this bitch just? No, I'm kidding.
I was thinking of the other sorority.
Yeah, it's a white sorority.
Mm-hmm. But Alpha Rho Chi.
Yeah.
He gave, and I have a drink in that particular cup. It's nothing.
But all of the letters have been rubbed off, so now it's just a cup.
It's a cup. So at the end of the day, let me be clear. I still would have drank out of the cup.
Right.
However, but that is my relationship with him. Just like if I gave him, I probably wouldn't even given you a cup, because you'd be like, why the fuck am I drinking? That's what you probably would did. But you probably would have been like, it's still a cup. What the fuck? Like,
if you gave me the cup, then
again,
it would have been fine. But I certainly would have been using the cup outside of the circumstance, or whatever.
So that's my thing. In light of the circumstances, that's what I feel that. I feel that this shouldn't have been a larger issue than it was, but I also feel like it is something that could have been avoided.
It could have been avoided, and she didn't make it better. It could have been avoided. First of all, this feels like a colossal failure on the part of staff, because if this had been a show with a white executive producer and a white whatever, then you could not forgive it, but you'd been like, that's what they do.
Yeah.
Because you would expect them
with
not
Ralph
to.
Lauren and Polo. They had the Phi Beta Sigma emblem, their shield, and all that stuff, and was selling the merchandise.
Right. And
I'm sorry, not
so
Masons, I think it was.
whoever it was.
Sorry.
And so if it was a non-black production staff, but you would think that a group of black people who produced this show would have been more sensitive. So that's one.
And Amanda, yeah.
Two, Amanda didn't say
it.
nothing.
Yeah.
She says, I don't know why people keep asking me if I'm a soror. I'm not a soror. First of all, you don't even say soror if you're not a part of the fraternity. I mean, I wouldn't. Or I wouldn't say I'm not. I would like if I was in a show and I had on Cap Alpha Psi stuff and then be like, I'm not frat. That feels too, that's on that line for me. I would have said I'm not a part of that fraternity. First of all, she should have just been like, I'm sorry, and just shut the fuck up about it. Because you recognize that people didn't have a problem when she says Tiffany is a soror. Tiffany is a character on a TV show. I didn't write the character. I play the character. I'm not a soror. I'm an actress, and I'm playing a character on a TV show. I think reality TV got people fucked up because it's like it's all the same. But I'm just playing the character. That's it. Y'all know that, so. But some of y'all don't. I feel like some really forget. I was like, girl, you needed a publicist to tell you to shut the fuck up and just let it go because this is
Well,
insecure.
I don't think what
insecure
she said was wrong though.
It's not what she said is wrong, but she should have
yeah.
she was a little bit out of pocket the way she said it and not it was insensitive to the people for whom this is an issue. You could have just not said anything.
Right. But she followed up afterwards and she did say, she said that some websites say she's an AKA. She said, y'all may have Googled it, and then this site is saying shit that ain't true. I'm not a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, and my school, Sunny Purchase, didn't even have a chapter. I would be honored to be a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha, but I simply am not. When I'm Tiffany, I do wear the letters with pride and regard and respect for those who did cross the burning sand. Now
that's disrespectful as shit. Right there,
I agree with you. If you'd have just cut it off and just says, but I simply am not. That's it.
That's it.
That's
just
it.
Leave
this
that
extra part,
all of that.
Let that go.
In other words, you like, I like wearing the letters when I'm Tiffany. No, girl, you're not. And it's disrespectful and it's disappointing for black people and for her to say I'm an actress. No, girl, just because you're trying to make it sound like you have no input or anything on the character. They tell you to do anything and you're just going to do it. If this was a movie directed by Steven Spielberg and he was like, 15 dudes are gonna walk in this room and call you nigger, and you just gonna be fine with that? You aren't gonna have no words and no saying about that? No, it's disrespectful. In the grand scheme of things, it's not a big deal.
It's not a big in the grand scheme of things, but I feel like
it don't take away nothing from whoever got their letters.
Right.
It don't take away none of that. But it is disrespectful, and you compounded the disrespect. Could have been managed by just being like, you know what? We fucked up, or just be like, I'm sorry, we'll do much better next time. And all of that statement should actually come from Issa Rae.
That's a whole nother thing. She hasn't said anything.
You saying all of this makes it 5,000 times worse because you're a black person. Basically, we already live in a world where black women's worth isn't valued. And so if you wanted to really make it a thing, it could become a thing, and it feels worse of a thing because you're a black woman saying it's not that big a deal, which is what white people say all the time.
Yeah.
About black fraternities all the time. It was like, girl, who gives a fuck?
So 2 points to ponder. So Coyote also said that she didn't actually wear the letters. I didn't actually see the episode.
I didn't either.
So that's on my list to look at. But then also, as of yesterday, Alpha Kappa Alpha sent out a letter that said, "Dear sorors, we were made aware of the unauthorized use of our brand on the HBO show Insecure early yesterday morning and are taking steps to protect our brand. Please allow the corporate office to handle this matter. We all have a duty to protect our brand." They also said you can do your part by refraining from engaging with anyone involved with the show or with anyone, including other sorors, on social media about this matter.
Yeah, that's not
Thank you
happen.
for your continued assistance and cooperation. Listen, like you said, that's just not going to happen because they're already too late. Already on they're dripping from their lips right now, and people are pissed off already.
And I mean, even if she didn't wear something that said bright and clear Alpha Kappa Alpha or AKA, everyone in the black community knows what the pink and green means. So it's just disrespectful. It could have been avoided. So Floyd Mayweather rejects teen boy's picture request over painted nails. All I'm going to say is Floyd can't even read.
You this is how you need to say it. Floyd can't even read.
Right. Floyd can't even read. So I don't.
We just gonna go with that.
I, so little boy, first of all, and my thing was the little boy posted a picture of his nails. His nails was fucked up.
They were fucked up.
His
but
nails were fucked.
They were fucked because
up.
he looked like he just bit all his shit.
Right. I was like, girl, if you would put that hand in my face too, I might not have. But I probably would have. But I mean, we're getting really fucked up over Floyd Mayweather. I'm like, girl, Floyd can't even read.
But of course, they're also saying that he's now homophobic and everything else. So I mean,
we've been known that. That's not new.
It's not new. His bodyguard beat up on somebody a while ago, and so yeah, now that they're trying to spin it to say that he was in pressed for time, had to get to some place. But clearly, in the video, you heard him say, "I don't sign fingerprint. I don't sign autographs for men for boys that wear nails. I mean, that for boys that have fingernail polish on."
Right. And so fine. Good. Michelle Littlejohn said exactly. Didn't Hillman College have fake fraternities and sororities? Which is
oh my God, y'all. I need everybody to clap, bring it together and say hi to Michelle. Hey, Shelly Bell.
Hey, Shelly Bell. But that's what a lot of TV shows do.
Hillman did do that. They had fake fraternities and sororities, but they also did have other members from other fraternities.
Yeah, but that was because
in the background as well.
Also, that is because Debbie Allen's an AKA, as is her sister Felicia Rashad.
Yes,
Bill Cosby. Say what you want. That's a whole other story. But Bill Cosby, who was an executive producer, is a Q, and so they all went to black colleges and they understood that. So that was an area of sensitivity for them. And I thought they handled that well.
They did that.
And I'm surprised.
They had them in the background.
I'm surprised that instead of making this a whole controversy, they just didn't invent some sorority and call it Phi Kappa,
whatever.
Phi Kappa Mu or some bullshit that they could have done a quick Greek search of like which three letters don't already have something.
So
right. It feels like this they bought this whole thing on themselves. Speaking of Floyd Mayweather not being able to read, he's also caping for Kyrie Irving and his whole anti-vax thing.
So how much? So this is what I want to know, Floyd. How much caping you doing for him? Are you giving him a paycheck? Because he ain't making no money.
All right. So
Floyd, you giving him a paycheck?
You cape all you girls can cape all you want. You can cape all the way to the poorhouse. So I don't give a fuck.
You giving them some money? But and lastly, this was something that I think we talked about last week, and I think you.
Before we get to this, so did you know that Fort Trough makes a lube that's essentially like poppers for your butthole?
Is that the CBD? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we'll just put that out there. We'll come back to that next week.
Yeah, remind me to bring you this stuff called dipstick. It's a dipstick that I have.
Yeah, because Rodney, Daddy Rod is bringing some because he works at Fort Trough. He's bringing some this weekend. Actually, the slave already has some, and he loves it.
I went and did this is a shameless plug for Boy Butter. I'm not Boy Butter for Toppers.
Top Toys?
No. The person. He has a company that does it.
Who the hell's Topper?
I probably am saying his name right. Topher.
Topher.
Anyway, I'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so this kind of pissed me off when I found out about it.
We talked about this last week on the show, and let's go back. Last week we talked about the young lady that was allegedly raped on a SEPTA train, and viewers and riders that were there apparently pulled out their video cameras and taped it or whatever,
and didn't do anything.
And what happened was someone that was on the platform at a previous station noticed something was wrong, called it in, and then at the next stop, at the end of the line when they got there, that's when everything came to a head. When they got on the train and saw the girl was being assaulted or whatever, they got the guy and all this other stuff. So all that stuff happened.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this was brought up in an article, and one of our fans, Bill.
Mark sent me the article, follow-up article.
Okay, so Mark's all right, and it was brought up by Bill as well.
He said that initially in the thing, but we didn't have any confirmation of it. This article came out like the next day.
Yeah, okay.
That's Mark sent me this letter.
Got you. Okay.
He's like, too bad we didn't get a chance to talk about this during the show.
Got you. Okay, so here's the thing. There was an article in the PhillyMag.com, and it talked about the event that happened, and it basically said Upper Darby. So let me go back. So I told you all what happened. Okay, so here it is. Starting from here. All right. As this reporter says, as dispiriting as these reports were, it's become clear that nobody in the press or the public took a moment to question whether they were true. When I first read the headlines, I couldn't believe that the city that I've lived in for over a decade would be so cruel. I know this wasn't who we are. Philadelphians are scrappy, take no bullshit people who will step up and speak out when they see something is wrong. Someone was lying on us and it made me go back and check the source. And there you have it. The police lied big fucking time.
However, so then they say there's a narrative out there that the people set. So this is from the Delaware County District Attorney,
Yes.
Jack Stolzheimer. He said there's this narrative out there that people sat there on the L train and watched this transpire and took videos of it for their own gratification. That is simply not true. It did not happen. We have security video from SEPTA that shows that this is not the true narrative. I want to take issue with this part of like, this is not who Philadelphians are. This has nothing to do with Philadelphia.
No, this has nothing to do with Philadelphia.
There's lots of stories about people being assaulted or being attacked and bystanders not doing anything. The fact that it could have happened seemed plausible.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna let you finish and then I'm gonna
No, go ahead. No.
What I was gonna say is like, why would the police lie? That's the narrative. I feel like there's more to the story.
Well,
there's some police involvement here that is being covered up.
So here's the thing.
Like, was the dude who was raping this woman affiliated with the police? Like, is this some...
No, his ass had been in jail several times. But again, but here's the thing. So this is what they're also saying. The city had just had to pay its largest ever pretrial settlement, $2 million, in a police brutality case that involved a black mother who was beaten up by cops during protests against police violence last year. In the immediate aftermath of her assault, the National Fraternal Order of Police lied on social media with a post that showed a Philadelphia officer holding the woman's 2-year-old son, saying that he was lost during the violent riots in Philadelphia, wandering around barefoot in the area that was experiencing complete lawlessness. The FOP took the post down a day later. I remember this picture. I remember seeing that. Last year, Philadelphia Police Commissioner Danielle Outlaw had to apologize to the public after what she described was unjustifiable actions that involved cops tear gassing innocent protesters during the racial uprising. Along with Mayor Jim Kenney, she confessed to initially providing the public with incorrect and uncorroborated information about the incident given to her and the mayor by their advisors. What this all means is that there is no reason we should continue to take the word of the police as gospel. Now, again, this is this article in Philly Mag.
Right.
And any statement police make should be subject to scrutiny, given how often the institution has had to backpedal and recant in high-profile cases in the city. In many cases, the rule would be to trust but verify. When it comes to police, however, there's no more trust, only verify. Now,
pretty much
that goes kind of hand in hand with what you were saying about was there something else going on? To be clear, for those of you that know Philadelphia and have lived in Philadelphia, the cops in Philadelphia tend to be so fucking dirty. In the past, they have been. There have been so many things that have happened.
In the present.
There have been so many things that have happened over the years where it was always outside versus the police inside. And then the FOP,
right?
They always clam it down, shut it down, and that's it. That's all it was.
When the story really comes out,
and when the story really comes out, they were fucking wrong.
Right.
And I don't know if we've seen this in movies, but we've also seen this in real life in other cities. But these are the things that have happened in Philadelphia. So it kind of makes me feel like there is more to the story, like you were saying, but I also feel like our current police force as is, knowing this history of the police and specifically in Philadelphia, the no trust but verify is definitely something that I think that we need to go into.
Our friend from something from Baltimore says, I just moved from Philly. He says there's a problem with there are people who are experiencing homelessness living in the tunnel. He says he would get off work at 10:30 and there's no SEPTA police everywhere.
So
I suddenly see a motive.
So right, and that's the thing. So we already see that part of this. So first of all, SEPTA police
they're trying to cover their ass for saying that there's
Exactly.
not enough police presence, and this is also.
But hold up.
Mm-hmm.
SEPTA police are different than the
the
city of Philadelphia police.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the people that have left the Philadelphia police force have gone to SEPTA. So
Same thing with the Metropolitan
Exactly.
Police.
So let's keep that in mind. Now, SEPTA, Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Authority, has been one of the largest but raggediest motherfucking transit systems, and God knows how, like, just for quite some time.
Yeah.
And they're expensive as hell, which I don't really understand.
Raggedy and expensive.
But again, they always complain. They're pulling back service. They're not running as much. And that also goes into play with what was just said by Tom about no SEPTA police anywhere. The SEPTA police is one thing, but it's the actual city of Philadelphia police that actually should have a presence outside of the SEPTA stations, cars, and everything else.
The SEPTA trains,
in the trains and the train stations, there should be SEPTA
this
police.
Feels like the start of a campaign for increased funding.
That very well could be the case.
The city or whoever funds.
That very well could be the case.
SEPTA.
And just like so, Tom, I'm right there with you, because Philadelphia is home for me. As much as I'm not gonna say talk bad about it. As much as I speak the truth about Philadelphia, can't nobody else say nothing about Philadelphia to me about Philadelphia, and especially you ain't never lived there. But when he says when he sees shady shit, he moves to another car at the next exit. Everyone does. You goddamn right, because I'm not trying to get in the middle of that, and I don't want to be involved in that. Bullshit.
You're not going to try to get in the middle of it, because if you did, there's no police.
There's retaliation possible against you for that bullshit.
Right, and there's no police around
to make it
if you tried to jump in the middle of some people fighting or a rape or whatever, there's no like, oh God, at the next stop I can be like, help, and the police will come running. Child, your ass will be stuck there.
But what I will do is when I exit, especially since I've gotten older and I realize that any situation could be me or somebody that I know, I do make that effort to make that phone call to say something is not right. This is what's going on. Like, I have to make that. I feel like I wouldn't be a good person if I didn't do that. Like, I just have problems.
And so, following up what you and Tom said is that they're trying to make it sound the narrative from the police is like this was a packed train, and at one end, like a group of people were standing around watching this woman get raped. He said this train was mostly empty. So people may have gotten on and off of
that train
without even realizing exactly what was going on.
And the other thing is too, sometimes people get on public transportation and do shows. Let me be clear. Some people, this is a thrill for them to do some, and I am not.
You're not suggesting that
that's what this was, but that is a possibility. And especially at dark o'clock at night, why wouldn't you?
If people get on the train and fuck, and you know, if it's not already a bunch of people on the train anyway, it was like, girl, they fucking in the corner. And
people are jerking off in the back of Ubers.
They do it all the time on this train. I just need to get home, and I'm not gonna pay attention to what's going on. Listen, I get on the train, I find my spot, and I'm right here. It used to be like 10 years ago, you wouldn't even have your phone out because the girls snatch phones.
They snatch phones.
Everybody got phones now, so that's less of an issue. But I have my headphones on. I'm not paying attention to anything that's going on the train.
Yeah, she got breakfast. Smell like people. Nobody talk about her.
Right. And so I get that. And so, and to answer your question, Dylan, yes, this was the article written by Ernest Owens, who is this gay journalist. He's getting married. Or got married.
Yeah, and he's the editor in large or whatever.
For Philadelphia Mag. And he wrote this article on which this is based. But yeah, so.
Oh, you know Ernest?
I don't know him. I'm just friends with him on Instagram.
Oh, okay. No,
which is how I came across this. Gotcha. I saw the follow-up article, and it was the same article that Mark pointed me to.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, so it's just like, okay, so what is the angle here for them to lie about that? And because you know what, everybody will automatically assume that it was, a bunch of who rides the SEPTA? Poor people, people of color, apparently homeless people, people with drug problems or whatever, and that they sat around and watched this. And so this is the something that they could have pointed to for the need for increased funding for increased enforcement actions. So we know how these things go.
We
ain't
shall
stupid.
see what this brings. But I there are some points in this article that Ernest wrote that
some ain't right about this. I mean, I agree with some points. I agree with 95% of it. But the only thing I don't agree with it.
We don't have the whole
something
story.
Ain't right in the buttermilk.
We don't have the whole story.
The only thing I don't agree with when he said this isn't the Philadelphia that I know, and I was like, no, this is a fact of public life is that people tend not to engage.
Yeah.
So it wasn't necessarily surprising to me that a woman did get raped or was assaulted and people didn't pay attention or do anything. It's that
it's the way it was.
Where it was categorized
that people watched and
that it was watched and filmed. And actually, people didn't not do that. So but you made an assumption. You made an assumption that these are the kind of people that would do this. Look at these animals. They sat around and, in that Philadelphia accent, look at these animals, or however the accent is. Look at these animals. They sat around and watched this woman get. Now I'm giving you Italian goomba.
You're giving me that's exactly what you're giving me.
They sat here and watched this woman get. But isn't it? It's pretty clear.
That's South Philly. That could be South.
Right.
Philly.
They sat there and watched this woman get raped. That's why we need more cops in the SEPTA stations. So we've seen this story 100 times. We saw it starting in the 80s. It was like. They didn't care as long as it was just Negroes getting jumped on the trains. But, once they started cutting up on the trains in downtown Manhattan and on Wall Street, we needed to have more police in the MTA. So anyway.
I don't know him, but didn't read the article, listen to you all. I was like, this sounds like Mr. Owens. Okay.
Yeah.
But
so
anyway.
It feels like he has a specific style.
Anyway, so let's check out this beautiful bean footage and we will be right back. Hey. So first of all, we have a celebutante in the room. I see Mr. DC Eagle 2020.
Mm-hmm. Noted pig and power bottom.
Hey, Mr. DC Eagle 2020. How you doing?
He says it's always a story for the money and the power grab, and it is very that.
Yeah, good observation though.
Yeah.
And I also want to say, I see a bunch of people in this room, and all that footage made y'all look cute. That's because we are cute.
Did you see the shade?
Did you see the shade? Now, see, I just gave you a shout out. Now wait a minute.
She's learning.
She's learning.
Wait a minute. She's learning.
But
she used to be so innocent.
I mean, she was.
And then now she's becoming. I mean, just because you like to get fucked everywhere, you can still be innocent.
Okay, well, we're gonna go with that. Okay, you got to oil them down. Hell, see, the kids already know your work. They're already down in North Carolina talking about you. See, look, this is what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But so listen, I was just looking at. We were commenting about the numbers, and thank you all so much. Oh, you tried that.
She tried it.
You tried
I learned it from watching y'all's dads.
Okay.
Oh, she's trying
All
it.
right. Okay.
All right. I give you no.
Right.
I give you that.
Right.
I give you that.
Listen, we're gonna go ahead and give him the double. We're gonna give you the double one.
Okay.
Just
wait till
we see you in public.
Exactly. I got your number, hussy.
Wait till we see you. But listen, I was commenting on these numbers. Thank y'all so much. Like this was one of the largest numbers I've seen so far. We're up to a bunch of people, so I'm very happy.
So thank you.
Thank you so much.
we want, I keep forgetting to run the little crawler at the bottom. Like, share, subscribe. So
Absolutely.
every one of y'all that is watching, I want you to bring someone new to the show next week.
Mr. DC Eagle, you have to bring 2 people. Thank you very much.
So bring 2 people.
Bring 2 people.
The show, as we said in the video, we air from 8 to 9:30-ish every Wednesdays. Like, share, and subscribe. So if you like this post, share it with others. You can share it on YouTube, or you can copy the link and share it on Facebook. And when you subscribe, also hit the bell notification.
That way you'll know
that lets you know when the show is coming next week.
Yep.
Also, another thing that I've been doing is, if you on Instagram, you can do a story. And one of the stories you can have a countdown post. So I have a countdown on the post now. So if you click on that, you'll get a reminder at that time. So like I saw that best friend did that. I saw that best friend clicked on it and it said best friend, because that's his name on Instagram. Best friend will be notified of the start of the BGKH show.
Okay.
So we're going to do that from now on, because we're doing that both on my page. You can do it on yours.
I do it on mine, but
but you can use one of the things, and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay. So again, we want to thank you all for coming out. We are humbled and very appreciative. And we also want to give a shout out to the Men of Onyx. We are having our Halloween party, Iniquity.
Yes, it is going to be
this Saturday at the Green Lantern.
Yes, God.
Listen, you can dress up as much as you want, but
or as little as you want.
You just have, well, in addition to the mask that the city requires, but you have to wear a face mask. It's a masquerade
ball
party. So
I'm sorry, masquerade party. Thank you.
So we will have a scripper, maybe 2. We're going to have a couple of raffles and some giveaways. So we look forward to seeing you all this weekend. Any other closing words?
Just listen, again, we are so grateful that you guys came out. We love you having you here. I love the dialogue with you all, and thank you for to some of the subscribers that have sent articles to us, because it's really interesting to get your viewpoints and stuff that we can actually talk about on the show. So please continue to do that.
Message us on Instagram or Facebook or the Twitter or Twitter.
Yeah.
If you have stories that you'd like for us to discuss, or problems that you're having, it was like you could say,
we could do a dear
BGKH show. What happened? My man left me.
I mean, we will
happily do that.
We will happily answer your questions and your concerns at any particular point in time, and we could have you as a feature question. If in fact, if you are willing, if you are willing, we can identify you.
We'll identify you. But we're not quite ready to have you call in yet.
Yeah, not quite. But again, you can definitely do that. We will be here to answer your question. And as men of a certain age, we can definitely give you our viewpoint. I'm just saying.
All right, and so with that, we will say thank you all for coming out. God bless you, and good night.